This video is sponsored by Sad Girl Apparel. We just released 4 new pieces of apparel and 2 new designs. On top of that, everything that sold out last time has been restocked. And if you act now for the next 2 weeks, you could use code PIG for 15% off your entire order. Go to sadgirlapparel.com and get your stuff before it sells out like last time. Do it now.
Hello, Kira. Why? Why did you do it? Why? So the other day, me and my good friend Elvis the Alien made a video on our Alien Bacon channel. Please go subscribe there right now. And we did a tier list of all of the animated Disney movies. And something that really stuck out to me was the wonderful movie Atlantis. This is definitely one of those movies that, not many people really talk about. And that makes me very sad. Now, I never really thought about how underappreciated or underrated this movie really is. And honestly, I don't really get why. Sure, I know the movie can feel a bit rushed. It has some inconsistencies, a few little plot holes here and there. But this is one of those few movies that I remember vividly. And not only just the main characters, I remember every single side character vividly, which is hard to do. Honestly, the side characters were some of the best parts of the movie. They could probably make a spin-off movie of any of these side characters and it would be a great movie. And just the lore of Atlantis is such an interesting thing. I literally watched an hour-long documentary about Plato and Atlantis and all this different stuff. It's just interesting things. Not to mention just the art in this movie is some of the best art out of Disney. I don't know, maybe it's just my childlike wonder that kept me thinking this movie was so good, but I still think to this day it's one of the most underrated Disney movies, and of course, that's next to Treasure Planet. That's going to be a future video, by the way. So without further stalling, let's get into the movie. So the movie starts out with a boom. Seriously, like a gigantic nuclear-sized explosion. And I'm still a little bit confused on the details. I think it was the Atlanteans at war and they were bombing someone. They kind of mention it here and there, but I'm not so sure, honestly. But long story short, the entire city is engulfed in waves. But it was saved by this woman who happens to be the mom of one of the main characters. She gets yeeted up to the sky and a giant force field gets created and protects all of them from the waves as they fall beneath the ocean. And it's pretty morbid because we see all of these people literally banging on the force field to get in while the waves are just coming in to crush them. Honestly, after doing that tier list, subscribe to Alien Bacon, I'm honestly realizing old Disney movies are pretty goddamn dark. I mean, the body count in this movie is absolutely insane. Obviously, it's not something you think about as a kid, but there's so many people that die in this movie. But anyway, we cut to 1914 and we see a young Michael J. Fox voicing Milo Thatch, a young linguist who studies the myth behind Atlantis. And currently he is giving a presentation about the city of Atlantis. And he talks about an ancient power source and also a book that holds all of the secrets of how to get to Atlantis and just Atlantis in general. Not only that, but he found a translation error that says Atlantis isn't in the coast of Ireland, it's actually in the coast of Iceland.
Not in Ireland, gentlemen, but in Iceland.
And honestly, yes, this does kind of sound a bit stupid that they just missed one letter and that's why they couldn't find it. But as a linguist, I'm sure that's a common problem when it comes to translating stuff from ancient civilizations. And then we discover he was actually practicing his presentation to end up doing to investors, to people who would fund him. Oh yeah, and also he's actually a boiler mechanic who's kind of like a side linguist. And all of Milo's passion really has to do with his grandfather, who also was passionate about finding Atlantis. He literally has a candle shrine to his grandfather, which, I mean, I'll admit, it's kind of crossing the line from cute to a little bit creepy, but hey, whatever. He ends up randomly getting a notice that they say they changed his appointment in order to make sure he doesn't even get the chance to present it to him.
Your meeting today has been moved up from 4:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. What?
Because let's be real, if a guy comes up to you saying, hey, I know where Atlantis is at, you're gonna kind of look at him like a nut job. So, I mean, at least they got that right. So after he finally catches up to Mr. Moneybags after chasing him down for a while, Moneybags tells him, yo, stop wasting your talents on stupid dreams. Atlantis is just a fantasy. It's a fairy tale, like his grandfather thought.
You have a lot of potential, Milo. Don't throw it all away chasing fairy tales.
Little does Mr. Moneybags knows this is a Disney movie. Pfft, idiot. Fairy tales are real in Disney movies. What an idiot. So Milo goes home to find someone named Helga in his house, who apparently just doesn't know how to wear the right clothing, because the whole time it's just falling off her shoulder. All of her clothes are falling off her shoulder the whole time. Just get clothes that fit you. Turn off the sexy jazz music and just buy shirts that fit.
Ho, Ho, ho.
So she takes him to Mr. Whitmore, who is apparently a billionaire, rich man who is good friends with his grandfather. And he hands Milo a gift from his grandfather, and that gift just so happens to be the Atlantean journal that Milo has been searching for and what he was talking about earlier.
It's the shepherd's journal.
And after Milo tells Whitmore that he truly believes that this journal is real and that Atlantis exists, Mr. Whitmore shows him that he literally spent millions, honestly close to billions of dollars, to hire an entire armada just ready at his disposal to go to Atlantis. And this is the part of the movie that really kind of feels rushed. He gives Milo the journal, and literally within 5 minutes, not even exaggerating, 5 minutes, they are just boom, on a voyage, ready to go to Atlantis.
Bye, Mr. Whitmore.
Make us proud, boys!
And the reason this doesn't make any sense is because Milo is the only person who could read Atlantean. So how do they even know what they're getting themselves into? How do they prepare for something that they don't even know what it is or where they're going? On top of that, why didn't they just give Milo a chance to read the book, plot a course, instead of just going in gung-ho and then on the way he's just scrambling trying to figure out where to go? I can see how this would be a big problem people would have with this movie, is the fact that there's just like zero prep. They just go. Also, a funny thing, Mr. Whitmore, the only reason he is spending billions of dollars to go find Atlantis is just because he made a bet with his grandfather. I guess it's worth it, you know? So he made a few characters, and they're kind of just an asshole to Milo throughout the majority of the movie. We meet Cookie, who is the chef of the group and apparently doesn't even know what oregano is.
What is this?
I mean, they said they hired the best of the best. You would think they would at least hire a chef that knows what seasonings are. I know that they're just trying to make him like the comedic guy, you know, "Yo, what's oregano?" You know? But I don't know, it just seems kind of weird that they hired really good people for everything else, and then the chef is just like someone who just makes beans and that's it.
You done stuffed my wagon full to busting with non-essentials.
Then you have Vinny, who is the boom guy who literally just blows stuff up. That's his specialty. Commander Rourke, who is basically a copy paste of Clayton from Tarzan. I mean, they kind of look the same. They start off as a good guy, end up being a piece of shit who only care about money and don't care about people. And it's a pretty common trope for villains to have. Moliere, who is just a mole. I mean, he just likes dirt. He knows all about dirt and he likes digging. So yeah, holy shit, he's Minecraft. Dr. Sweet, who's the medical officer.
I'm gonna need you to fill these up.
With what?
Cum? Does he want his cum?
Bruh.
And before you know it, boom, they're on their way to Atlantis. So Milo, while he's reading the book, is describing to them that there is an ancient Leviathan-type creature that guards Atlantis in the ocean.
Sparks of fire shoot out, but more likely it's a carving or a sculpture.
And the entire time, they're just laughing at him and bullying him.
I used to take lunch money from guys like this.
Why? Why are you bullying the dude who is going to lead you to Atlantis? I mean, I'm just assuming everyone on the ship believes it's real, because why would they be here? So why are they laughing at the guy who is reading Atlantean? Because he's a nerd? Is that why? Disney really had a hate for nerds back then, didn't they? And don't get me wrong, I know it's kind of like built to be character development, but I just find it funny that they're treating it like a 90s high school teenage movie.
There are ships here from every era.
Oh great, now they're in a ship graveyard. Really hope there isn't a giant Leviathan creature that Milo literally just described and they all laughed at there. That would be really awkward if oh! There is a giant Leviathan creature that is protecting the gates of Atlantis. Who would have thought? Oh, my chair's broken. I forgot. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I just want to mention Mrs. Packard is just my favorite character in the movie. Literally the whole time, all these crazy things are happening, and she's just a sassy, grumpy bitch.
Do you want to do my job?
Honestly, she is who I strive to be when I get older. So now they have to face off against the giant Leviathan, and I just find it funny how, like, they're just expecting it. Like, not many people are, like, amazed by the Leviathan. They're just like, all right, let's beat him up. Serve him on a silver platter. Let's kill this thing.
Load the torpedo bays, subpod crews, battle stations.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of people die. I mean, a lot of people die. Audrey literally closes the door on a dude trying to get through. Like, she could have left it open. She didn't even bat an eye. She's just like, boom, sorry, bud, you're freaking dead. I mean, sure, a little water might have gotten in, but at least she could have hesitated a bit, you know? Like, she's just, boom, sorry, you're dead, deal with it. So they evacuate the ship, and Milo literally tells them just to go down a hole. You know, not plotting a course, just find a random hole and have a leap of faith and just go into it.
Where to, Mr. Thatch?
We're looking for a big crevice of some kind.
Like, what if they went into the wrong hole? Boom, movie's over. So after over 100 people get massacred by the giant Leviathan, they finally make it to a gigantic cave. And then they have a little break to respect the ones that were lost, of course. And then Rourke's like, hey, yo, Milo. Yeah, I know we just met yesterday. I know you just started reading the book the other day, but all of our lives are on your shoulder, okay? Like,
looks like all our chances for survival rest with you, Mr. Thatch.
if we die, it's your fault. You know? Bro, he just got here. Give him a break, man.
We're all gonna die.
Damn, Mrs. Packard's straight spitting. Fuck. But then they have a little montage of them walking around, finding their way. And throughout the whole time, they just kind of hate Milo. You know, they're just kind of a dick. Like, bro doesn't even grab his hand to help him up. Like, after rewatching this, I didn't even think about this. Why are they so mean to him? You know, like, it's just a strange thing to be mean to someone that your commander literally told, hey, our entire lives are on your shoulders. Yeah, don't be nice to that guy. Screw that guy, you know, he's a nerd, you know. You don't want his nerd to rub off on you. So throughout their journey, they actually have people in the background watching from afar. So they get to a stopping point. There's like a big bridge. There's a little lantern up there, and Cookie gives out gross food. Again.
That's cargo. And the Oriental spring roll.
Why is he a bad cook? It doesn't make any sense. They hired the most expensive people in the world, but they couldn't hire a good chef. Oh yeah, also just out of the blue, out of nowhere, the crew's just like, yo, you know that Milo guy? Let's give him a break, you know? Like, let's be nice to the kid, you know what I mean?
You know, we've been pretty tough on the kid. What do you say we cut him some slack?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, maybe I missed something in the montage, but there wasn't any like leading up to, oh, he's cool. Oh, he's kind of a nice guy. Oh, maybe we should hang out with him, you know? It was just like, oh, hey, yo, get over here. We're friends now. But anyway, they're sitting around a fire, and then Milo starts expressing his concern, thinking that there's a page missing in the book.
It's almost like there's a missing page.
But Vinny's just like, you know, just relax. Don't worry about it. You're overworking. And then Milo's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but it's important. It's important information for later. Oh, yeah. Also, every single person admits that they're there for the money, which, I mean, I guess I appreciate, you know, like, at least they're honest.
Money.
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 I'm gonna say money.
So this part is where they all start camping out and start giving each other's backstory and start becoming more friendly. Dr. Sweet was drafted into the army when he was in medical school. Audrey's father wanted 2 boys but got 2 girls, so he ended up putting Audrey as a mechanic basically since she was a child, and she's just really good at it. And she wants to do this to save money to open up a shop. Vinny owned a flower shop, and the next door building blew up, and now he likes explosions. That's okay. And Mole, they literally just told him, like, you don't want to know his story. Like, he asked her, like, nope, you don't want to know.
Trust me on this one. You don't want to know.
That's kind of the same thing that I would say for PETA. Like, if you ask, hey, what's PETA Jones' story? Dear God, you don't want to know.
He's right. You don't want to know.
So Milo gets up in the middle of the night to take a shit, and then they get attacked by flies who catch things on fire. And once again, a bunch of people die. Again. So literally all they have left is just the main cast and then a few soldiers. But they all end up falling down a hill somewhere and end up in the base of a volcano.
Volcano can blow at any time.
That would take an explosive force of great magnitude.
Man, I wonder if there's going to be an explosive force of great magnitude that's going to be able to erupt the volcano in the future. That would be inconvenient. And while all that's happening, Milo gets confronted by the people who were following, and then boom! Milo gets a boner. Oh yeah, and like she's Crystal, heals him, some shit. But more importantly, boner, okay? Boner. So Milo chases them down and ends up finding the entrance to Atlantis. And we also see that the people who were chasing him were actually Atlanteans, and they also can speak pretty much every language.
Pardon, mademoiselle. Voulez-vous...
And this happens to be a problem because the commander was not expecting people to be here. You know, he just wanted a quick paycheck. He wasn't expecting people to be here. So Kira shows them to the king, and the king basically finds them a little bit sus. And the king just sees directly through their bullshit, and they're like, yo, get out. I don't want you here. You act like you coming to discover shit while you're bringing guns. All right, get out of here. So Rourke comes up with an idea and basically says, yo, we stay a night, we refuel, get some food in our system, and then we out. So then he ends up granting their request.
Very well. 1 night, that is all.
But Kira gets angry because she's like, I think these people could save our civilization because our civilization is dying. Well, I mean, not everyone. Mostly Milo. She really thinks Milo can save them.
Perhaps we can save our future.
So the whole crew ends up telling Milo to ask Kira some questions and discover what's going on with their stuff. You know, what's the king doing? What's happening?
Someone needs to talk to that girl.
I will go.
Milo finds out some good information. Kila actually doesn't know how to read Atlantean, and most of their culture was lost with the Great Cataclysm. And Kila's over 8,000 years old, which I guess means, you know, Milo's into older women.
Oh, well, hey,
Boner.
looking good.
And apparently they have Atlantean jet skis. That's pretty sick, bro. So Milo and Kira walk around Atlantis and, you know, kind of just explore the area. I'm like, Milo, put that child down. Whose child is that? Like, you know, if I'm going to an ancient civilization, I ain't just gonna be like, yo, child, snatch, put him on my shoulder. What are you doing? What are you doing? So Kira takes Milo to a secret mural that actually describes the entire history of Atlantis, but she couldn't read it, but Milo can.
A complete history of Atlantis. It's just like Plato described it.
And then he learns about the power source, the crystal that is actually keeping all of the Atlanteans alive. And then he realizes, oh shit, there was a page missing, and Rourke took it because Rourke's a little bitch.
Unless the missing page.
Which I just want to mention, this is kind of confusing to me because Rourke stole the piece of paper, right? He can't read Atlantean. So if he has no idea what it is, why would he take it out of the book? Was he just like, yo, this shit shiny, man? Like I want to take that. Like, this might be expensive. I don't know. I can't read it, but it might be expensive. Also, what if he accidentally ripped out a part of the book that leads you to Atlantis, that gives you directions to Atlantis? Wouldn't it make more sense to leave the page in there, let Milo discover what it means, and then Milo would in turn tell Rourke what it means, and then he'd be like, oh, that's what it means. It kind of doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot more plot holes than I remember in this movie, but it's still good. I still love this movie. So Milo swims back. He sees Rourke and the entire crew with guns.
You have a nice swim?
And then Milo tells Rourke, yo, you take this crystal, the entire people will die. It's basically a genocide. Don't do it. And Rourke's like, bruh, that's like double the price though. You know, that's like triple, man. I kill an entire civilization. That's triple the money, babe.
Double the price.
I was thinking triple.
Helga, pull up your sleeve. Stop at the spaghetti straps. Pull it up. You know, no one's looking. So they go confront the king, and Rourke literally just sucker punches the king in the stomach.
Hello, everyone. It is me, your favorite doctor. A quite muscular man punching an old, feeble man in the stomach will most certainly cause internal bleeding, in turn could be fatal. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, Rourke's a bitch.
And before Rourke is about to kill the king, he discovers the entrance to the crystal right in front of him as he sits on the throne. So they go down to the crystal, and then right when Rourke gets in there, the crystal senses imminent danger, which I just want to mention something. I didn't really think about this when I was younger. The crystal goes red when it thinks there's danger, or when it's end of world type situation, right? To protect all of its people. But I'm pretty sure it went red coincidentally because of what's about to happen. I don't think it went red because of Rourke. I think it went red because of what happens in the end of the movie. Kila, like her mother, was chosen by the giant crystal, gets yeeted up into the air, and she basically becomes the crystal, and then the life juice just gets sucked inside of her, and she becomes like a crystal person. So that means she literally has infinite power, the power to stop a nuclear-sized explosion from killing anyone. So much power. Whoa, wait, whoa! I just locked her in a cage. Where's all that power at? She's literally got the power of the crystal, but she's like, nah, bro, I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna let them take me, you know, like, what? So after they lock her up, Rourke just decks Milo in the face just for no reason. You know, he's a nerd, right? And I guess that incited the rest of the crew to be like, yo, you know what? Rourke's kind of an asshole. I don't feel like doing a genocide today, baby. So they go on Milo's side. So Rourke like, bro, you stupid. I'm gonna be rich. And then he's like, I'm about to head out. And then he goes, blows up the bridge, and no one can stop him. And while he's leaving, all of the lights and the crystal necklaces that the Atlanteans have are dying out. So then the king grabs Milo. He's like, yo, bro, I gotta tell you a little bit of a secret. Back then, I actually used the power of the crystal to destroy my enemies, and it turned out to be a little bit too powerful, you know, hence the nuclear-sized explosion in the beginning of the movie. And then it ended up basically destroying the entire world and sinking them underneath the ground. Oh yeah, Milo, I know you just grabbed that Atlantean book like maybe a week ago, and I know you kind of knew everything, but could you do me a favor, all right? Save my daughter, save all of Atlantis. Just small favor, bro.
Save Atlantis. Save my daughter.
And then Milo looks at him and he's like, bruh. So Milo's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna save the day. They all get their cool ass jet skis and go chase after Rourke, who has a giant balloon? What? Like all the other equipment in the adventure kind of makes sense, you know, but this is a voyage that's looking for Atlantis, correct? Which all the lore says is completely submerged in water. But they're like, yeah, let's just pack a giant balloon just in case we need to use it underwater. Like, I'm so confused by this. So then they basically have an all-out war. I don't understand. Why do they have portable fighter planes on hand? Like, what were they planning on using this for? They thought that there was no one there. They thought they were going to Atlantis, grabbing a few artifacts of ruins, going up, being done. That's it. Why do they have fighter jets? What's going on? So Milo runs his jet ski into the balloon. They start losing altitude. Rourke just kind of like yeets off Helga. He's like, yo, I'm tired of your stupid spaghetti strap falling off. Get out of here. And somehow she miraculously survives a 100-foot drop to the ground and then shoots a flare gun up at the balloon, and then the balloon goes boom. And then Milo gets chased down by Rourke with an axe, but then Milo slashes his arm with a piece of glass that is engulfed in Kila juice. Oh, I don't really know what else to call it. And then he turns into like a lava monster creature and then explodes to the fans that are flying around. And the explosion of the balloon cascading down to the ground and blowing up is big enough to cause the volcano to erupt. Man, did not see that one coming, honestly. So they get Kila back to Atlantis, and she basically goes Super Saiyan, saves the city from the volcano, gets a bunch of stone golems to come out of the ground and do like one of these, like monkey thing, big force field. Lava goes over the top of it, solidifies, cracks, everyone's safe. We win. We did it. We did it. So in the end of the movie, they give a shitload of gold to all of Milo's friends, like in the crew, and Milo ends up staying with Kila. And back on the surface, they told Mr. Whitmore all of what happened, and they all agreed to keep quiet about Atlantis and them discovering anything, which is kind of confusing because they're all rich now. So what did they bring up? I thought they brought up a bunch of golden artifacts that they probably sold for a bunch of profit. Yet they are telling everyone that they found nothing, and that's just it. Isn't the gold that they brought technically proof? I mean, unless they just sold it on the black market or something, I don't know, but all right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Atlantis. After rewatching this movie, I honestly see why people can agree it's not the best, but I still have a special place in my heart for this movie. I used to watch it all the time. There is a lot of plot holes and, you know, it could be better at parts, but I still think it's one of my favorite Disney movies. So please like the freaking video if you like it. Do it now. Please just do it now. I'm begging. Also, please leave in the comments below what you guys want me to review next. I don't know. Leave a comment about how your dog is doing. I want to know how your dog is doing, honestly. Also, just a double reminder, make sure to check out Sad Girl Apparel. We have new stuff out, and also all the old stuff has been restocked. So please go there before everything sells out like last time. So thank you guys so much once again, and I will see you next time. Bye.